Tonight, the province signs an extension to the $10 a day childcare program. A call for more domestic violence awareness and education in Saskatchewan. Catching up with farmers at Agribition.
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. Well, it is official. $10 a day childcare will continue in the province for at least another 5 years. The federal and provincial governments announced today they agreed to extend the program. And as Wayne Mantika tells us, the new deal comes with important changes that parents and care providers requested.
The new agreement ends uncertainty about the future of $10 a day childcare in the province. Saskatchewan and Ottawa have agreed to a 5-year extension that comes with $1.6 billion in federal funding.
And this is intended to assist the moms and dads or the caregivers the opportunity to go back to school or go back to work or pursue a career that they wanted to. All these options become available to them.
Saskatchewan had been under pressure to extend the program, which was set to expire at the end of March. The province says it negotiated the best deal possible. It includes expanded age eligibility so that children who turn 6 while in kindergarten can continue to receive $10 a day childcare until they complete the school year.
Where were there changes that needed to be made? And so from that perspective, that's where we as a government felt that when we were going to renegotiate this agreement, we wanted to try to bring some of those things to the table.
Other changes allow private childcare providers to participate. There will also be a 3% annual increase for early learning and childcare programs. It provides a degree of certainty for childcare centers.
I'm looking forward to continuing and growing these conversations and building those relationships even further in the future. It's a really good day.
The program renewal is being welcomed by parents.
Oh, it's awesome for people with high grocery prices, and just another cut is always good for us. So.
The target was to create 28,000 affordable child care spaces under the program, which began in 2021. Saskatchewan says it has now attained 91% of that goal. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
Now, Liberal MP Bucky Belanger wasn't just in Regina for the childcare announcement. He also took a tour of pro-metal industries after the federal government made legislation to help out that sector. Going forward, Canadian-made steel will have better access to the domestic market. Freight rates have been adjusted with railways so steel can move more affordably across the country. There will also be increased protection for workers and businesses to adapt to the new landscape.
Now with increased procurements through Canada's budget and increased focus on increasing the sovereign capabilities here in Canada and for export markets, it's very exciting. So appreciate what the federal government is doing on that with that refocus and really building our economy here in Canada.
Up to $150 million in the tariff response initiative will be targeted to projects in the steel sector. A Saskatoon homicide case is moving through the courts. 8 people charged in the death of Tim Dutuisis. 7 of them are accused of first-degree murder. 2 of them accused were in court this morning. Their cases are adjourned to next month. Dutuisis was found dead on December 18th of last year. Police discovered his body while executing a search warrant at a home on the 1700 block of 22nd Street West in Saskatoon. A former school principal convicted of assault with a weapon will receive his sentence next month. Earlier this year, a jury found Duff Friesen guilty of 1 count of assault with a weapon and not guilty on the other 3 counts. Friesen is accused of hitting students with a wooden paddle between 2003 and 2004 while working at Christian Center Academy, a school that was later renamed Legacy Christian Academy and is now known as Valor Academy. Today, lawyers made their sentencing arguments. Due to a publication ban, the evidence, lawyers' arguments, and victim impact statements cannot be reported. Justice Natasha Crooks is expected to deliver the sentence on December the 18th. According to an RCMP report released earlier this year, domestic violence is an issue that just isn't getting better in Saskatchewan. As Mick Fable tells us, a mother brought her family stories to the legislative building this week, calling on the government to provide more education to the public to try and lower domestic violence cases in the province.
Despite increased awareness, Saskatchewan still ranks high when it comes to intimate partner violence. Now a mother is pushing for new legislation which would put domestic violence education in many places across the province, including training materials when beginning a new job position.
Since Saskatchewan has double the national average of police-reported calls of domestic abuse, we need to start to think outside the box and try to educate our people about the dangers and the prevalence of domestic abuse.
McDonald knows firsthand what can happen when a domestic violence situation gets taken to the extreme. In 2017, McDonald's daughter, Abby Spear, was murdered by her partner just weeks after the relationship ended. McDonald says she wishes she knew more about the warning signs and some of the resources available.
80% of victims will reach out to someone in their social circle first. So that is why this education would be so valuable across the whole province to assist in helping victims.
Alana Ross is the minister responsible for the status of women. She says the government of Saskatchewan is addressing the situation, including an awareness initiative happening next week surrounding the 211 hotline, which connects people with resources in their community.
Sometimes when people are in that situation, their life becomes so normalized they may not even be aware. It is so important that people are aware that that's in place, and it's a place that they can go to get some help and some support.
McDonald says including educational materials during the onboarding process would be an easy way of getting directly to a significant number of people. Ross says they take all suggestions into consideration but cannot comment directly as she has not looked at the proposal. Mick Favel, CTV News, Regina.
All right, Sabine joins us for our first look at weather, and a bit of a chilly day, although seasonal temperatures, but that cold is going to continue coming, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's only going to get colder from here. We're heading into December soon, Lee, and not as cold as what we've been seeing Saskatoon. Saskatoon dealt with more snow and temperatures heading into tonight. A wind chill actually heading into about -22 right now is the wind chill that they're dealing with. So cooler temperatures in other parts of the province, but as we take a closer look at southern Saskatchewan, saw some scattered snow come through, and we could expect to see some light flurries throughout the overnight as well in parts of southern Saskatchewan. Temperatures still actually a little cooler than what our seasonal temperature is usually looking at. Our average daytime high is usually about -4. We warmed up to -8 today, and then it's only just going to get colder as we head into this weekend. But I'll have those details, including when we can expect more snow in the south, coming up in your full forecast. Lee?
All right, thanks, Sabine. This year's Canadian Western Agribition is in its final days, and today we're taking time to check in with some of the different producers at the show. Damian Smith has more.
While a lot of people flock to the Agribition, there's no shortage of animals. A number of farmers have made their way to Regina to show off their livestock and educate visitors about life on the farm, including Joanna Walker.
Making a profit comes quicker with sheep than it does with cows. When you have your multiple lambs, that's your first lamb pays for your ewe and your feed, and your next lamb is the profit.
Walker has more than 275 breeding ewes and 90 ewe lambs. She also owns cows but has a soft spot for sheep, growing up with them in England.
They have quite a good character. Cows, I suppose, do too, but the sheep, once you get them tame and quiet, or they know what, they're very food motivated.
For cows, a farm with around 200 cattle can test your financial skills.
There's times that you'll go 6 months with no check, and so you have to be pretty good managers. So farmers are also electricians, they are carpenters, they are accountants. We're multi-purpose people.
Because of that, farming isn't a 9-to-5 job or a seasonal occupation. It's 24 hours, 7 days a week.
We're out there when it's -50. We have to look after the cattle first. A lot of times we get looked after second, and our kids get looked after second or third.
You don't maybe get as many opportunities to do certain sports because you're busy on the farm, or your parents can't take you to certain things like that.
But despite all the sacrifices these producers feel working on the farm at a young age, build character, something they hope today's youth will keep in mind as the average age of the Canadian farmer continues to climb.
Kids that grow up on a farm are highly employable because they learn how to work very young.
Damian Smith, CTV News, Regina.
Two families on different continents are now connected through a simple act of kindness and the sacrifice of a Canadian soldier. Alison Bamford explains.
And it says France and Germany, you know. So.
An afternoon with family.
He sure sounds like the Clausens, doesn't he?
Remembering a person they never got the chance to know.
He must have been an extraordinary man.
That man is their uncle, Corporal Peter Clausen, a young soldier in the Second World War.
This was for participating in the war, actually, is what it was, wasn't it?
Most of what his nephews know comes from photos, articles, and medals passed down to them.
And not knowing the man personally, you just feel happy that there is a family member that did sacrifice their life for our freedom.
Peter was killed in action while fighting in France in 1944. He was just 19. His remains are buried in a Belgian cemetery, the ending of their uncle's story as they knew it. But for this Belgian couple, it was just the beginning.
We visit the graves a few times on a year, and then we take flowers, and then we say a little prayer.
Danny Van Hefta and Sabina de Kraker adopted Peter Clausen's grave 2 years ago through an international program. They wanted the family to know his grave was being cared for.
Perhaps it gives them some comfort that there are still people in Belgium that did not forget what they did.
They posted this on Facebook, searching for any of Peter's relatives. It caught the attention of military historians, the Royal Canadian Legion, and eventually the family.
I would be very proud to say that someone was looking after someone that was dear to our hearts.
The families have connected online since, but more than that, it's renewed interest in Peter's story.
When we did this research, it brought a lot of things back. I just thank them from the bottom of my heart that they're taking the effort.
A small gesture honoring the biggest of sacrifices. Alison Bamford, CTV News, Swift Current, Saskatchewan.
Big Brothers Big Sisters of Regina area is launching its 55 Doors fundraiser. The program has 55 children waiting to be paired with a mentor. The group has the volunteers already, but they need the funds to make the matches happen. It costs about $1,500 to recruit, screen, train, and support one match per year.
The children on our wait list are facing numerous and significant adversities in their life, and having a mentor, someone that is, coming in to hang out with them because they think they're cool and they're, they just want to have a fun, enjoyable time. That relationship, that developmental relationship, can change the trajectory of a child's life.
The organization is hoping to reach the goal by February of next year. Well, midnight lineups might be a thing of the past with deals now stretched over several days, but Black Friday is alive and well, according to Saskatchewan retailers. CTV's Stacey Hine hit the stores in Saskatoon to see how the day went for the deal hunters.
Parking lots are packed as shoppers haul out their latest Black Friday purchases. Midnight lineups may be a thing of the past, with deals now stretched over several days. But the demand hasn't slowed.
So busy, yeah, it's so crowded, yeah.
And while many have turned to online shopping to avoid the crowds, the manager at Best Buy says most customers are still choosing to shop in person.
In person, in store certainly is the biggest proportion of customers choosing to shop because they want to feel, touch, and demo the product before they purchase it.
One shopper says she waited more than an hour to get the newest iPhone.
Mainly we are just here for the iPhone, and let's see, we hopefully get that.
Another says while she's not the most tech savvy, the deals on smart glasses are drawing her in.
They are on sale, that's why I'm here, because they're expensive.
Black Friday discounts come as many Canadians plan to tighten their holiday budgets. A BMO survey found 3 in 5 Canadians plan to cut back, but nearly half of respondents say sales still led them to spend more than they planned. The survey also found that about 42% of Canadians are planning to shop for sale or clearance items, and 38% intend to buy fewer gifts overall. But as shoppers file in and out of stores, retailers say one thing hasn't changed. Black Friday marks the start of the holiday rush. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Regina Man was the big winner in the Hospitals of Regina Foundation Home Lottery. The grand prize winner of the $1.7 million show home Christian Flamin of Regina. Today, he accepted a giant key for the $1.7 million show home and a check for $50,000. It's the most valuable lottery show home in the history of the HRF Home Lottery. The winner of the early bird prize was Dorianne Pillar from Balgony, took home $100,000. As well, the 50-50 prize winner was Gerald Maidan of Regina. He earned $535,000, and he's been buying Hospital Regina Foundation home lottery tickets for decades.
Well, I've always felt it's going to a good cause, and I mean, a $100 ticket is not much for a person to do, and you put it all together, and there's a nice pile of money being raised. So it's more of a donation than anything, I felt. But you always want to win. It's nice to win.
And this home lottery raised about $1.2 million for the foundation. Nominations open for the Regina Citizen of the Year, which is presented by CTV. The award is given each year to an individual who exemplifies excellence in community service. And to find out how to nominate someone, guides are available on our website. The deadline to submit your nomination next Friday, December the 5th. We'll announce the winner on New Year's Eve.
Still ahead, a look at the Canadian economy heading into the holiday season. And is Stephen Guilbeault's resignation from cabinet an outlier or a trend for the Liberal Party?
The Canadian economy, which has blown past expectations, avoiding a technical recession by experiencing surprising growth in the third quarter. But despite this, the onslaught of the U.S. tariffs, they continue to do well. But looking deeper into the numbers that shows 2.6% growth, you might actually see the situation isn't exactly rosy. How? Abigail Bidman explains.
Hi, Ontario people. That's what we need to do, is support each other.
Some economists say gross domestic product growth is proof months of Buy Canadian ads and measures are working even with an unresolved trade war.
We saw imports drop 2.2%, which is a huge decline in the amount of foreign goods that we're consuming here in Canada. And that's really what helped to propel the economy forward, along with some increasing government spending.
Canada's real gross domestic product rose 2.6% on an annualized basis in the third quarter of 2025. Imports dropped 2.2% and exports climbed 0.2%.
This puts aside kind of the recession talks or certainly the worries that we had about 2 negative quarters, but it doesn't really kind of take away the kind of, I should say, concern that we have around the economy still.
Statistics Canada says business investment was flat and household spending dropped slightly. The Prime Minister picks a positive spin and takes credit, posting the growth beats expectations and we're getting results.
At the surface, the data looks good. It's positive. But scratching beneath the surface, what you see is that there's some prudence. Consumers are prudent. You see that in the way they've increased their savings.
This economic snapshot comes ahead of the Bank of Canada's last interest rate decision of the year on December 10th. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Quebec's government has tabled legislation that would expand restrictions on religious practices in the province.
Because we think that when the state is neutral, Quebecers are free.
Bill 9 includes a ban on full face coverings for students and staff in public education settings. It would also prohibit prayer in public institutions like universities, as well as in public outdoor spaces. State-funded institutions like hospitals would be banned from offering menus based exclusively on a religious tradition, like strictly kosher or halal options. The legislation builds on a 2019 law banning public servants from wearing religious symbols at work. The pipeline agreement that the Prime Minister struck with Alberta's Premier has caused some cracks in the Liberal Party. Stephen Guilbeault, a cabinet minister known for his hardline stance on environmental issues, has resigned, and there could be more blowback. CTV's Judy Trin has more.
For a project like that to come to reality, you'd have to make sure that there is social acceptance, certainly if it's going to BC.
After 6 years in the Liberals' inner circle, Stephen Guilbeault quit as Minister of Culture, unable to stomach the Prime Minister's shift toward pipelines. Just hours after Mark Carney signed the Memorandum of Understanding with Alberta's Premier, Guilbeault resigned. He said several elements of the climate change action plan he worked on are about to be dismantled, including consumer carbon pricing, zero-emission vehicle standards, and the emissions cap on the oil and gas sectors.
I'll disagree with the characterization that we're rolling things back when we've actually committed to strengthening the industrial carbon price, strengthening methane regulations, extending the methane regulation.
Guilbeault will remain in caucus. Other Liberal MPs feel strongly about the environment. About 30 are part of a newly formed climate caucus.
He's dedicated his life to climate issues. And it's completely understandable that he would stand on that principle. Does that mean that there's a cancer spreading through the caucus? Absolutely not.
Guilbeault was also the Quebec lieutenant. Now Carney will have to find someone else to help him navigate the politics of La Belle Province.
Mark Carney is not a Quebecer. Mark Carney is not culturally, linguistically in the flow of Quebec. He relies on that Quebec lieutenant.
On social media, the Prime Minister thanks Stephen Guilbeault for his work in advancing sustainability. Mark Carney must now turn his attention to finding a new Minister of Canadian Culture. He could also use a vacancy for a cabinet shuffle. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Affordability was a hot topic as 5 candidates faced off in the first official federal NDP leadership debate yesterday.
Cost of living right now for Canadians is skyrocketing.
But we're getting squeezed while billionaires are cashing in.
Unless we start fixing our relationship with the first past the post electoral system, none of this will come to pass.
We need
Rob Ashton, Tennille Johnston, Avi Lewis, Heather McPherson, and Tony McQuail all took to the stage in Montreal, tackled everything from winning back the working class, reconciliation, and building support in Quebec. The debate began with a plan to have 60% take place in French, but most of the debate wound up being in English. The NDP will choose its next leader March 29th in Winnipeg during the party's annual convention. Firefighters in Hong Kong say they've concluded their search for survivors at a high-rise complex left devastated by a deadly blaze.
Right now, I feel so grateful because I am safe. But I'm concerned about friends I know before. We have talked. Usually we talk, and then I haven't met them.
128 people are confirmed dead, 200 others listed as missing. Hong Kong's government says it appears the flames broke out Wednesday in protective netting on the lower floors of one tower and quickly spread when fire alarms were malfunctioning. Investigators have made several arrests as they say they'll look into possible corruption in renovation efforts at the complex. And looking across Southeast Asia, the death toll from widespread flooding has risen to at least 321. Large parts of Indonesia, Thailand, and Malaysia have been coping with the impacts of heavy rains over the last week, fueled by a rare cyclone. Search and rescue efforts are ongoing as authorities try to restore power and communications to hard-hit areas. Still ahead, it's not a debate in the House of Commons that has the attention of Ottawa residents. Instead, it's about who has the tallest Christmas tree.
Saskatchewan signs an extension on childcare. Monday on Your Morning, we're in conversation with the Education Minister on what's in the deal, why it took so long to sign.
Welcome back. Taking a look at, oh, it's actually kind of so pretty when you see all the lights lit up there. Taking a look out through our sky cam. Chillier day in the Queen City. The warmest we got up to was about -8, currently sitting at -9. Wind chill, last I checked, was about -15, -16, and the wind is sitting at 15 right now. So again, in comparison to Saskatoon about an hour ago, their wind chill value was about -22. So colder up just to the north of us, and we will continue to see cooler temperatures come our way as well. And I will show you that right now. And so on our radar satellite, again, we did see some of that snow coming through the south. We're still seeing some of those winter storm warnings just to the south of the border. We're not expecting to see any type of storm come through. Now, it's not showing up on my radar satellite or even on the map here, but as of right now, Environment and Climate Change Canada is reporting that there is still a snowfall warning just in the southwest around the Maple Creek surrounding area, Fort Walsh, Murraydale, Pie Pot, and Maple Creek. Creek area, expecting to see up to about 20 centimeters of snow. That was in place late this afternoon, and as of right now, as you can see on our map, we're not seeing much there. So again, it's something you want to keep in mind if you are planning on being out in that area. That Environment and Climate Change Canada does have that snowfall warning still in effect, but we are also expecting to see the system continue to head east and clear out and break up later this evening into the overnight. So this is pretty much the most we'll see of snow in southern Saskatchewan before we get into the weekend. And for the weekend, this is how we're expecting to start the day. We'll see some of that light cloud cover in the morning, and then a lot of that cloud cover expecting to clear as we head into the afternoon and evening. By the evening, we'll start to see more of the clouds rolling through again. And then again, expecting to see a mix of sun and cloud for both Saturday and Sunday for most of the province. And then by Monday, we'll see more of that cloud cover roll in by Monday evening, expecting to see some snow. And then Tuesday, we're also expecting to see some of that snow continue to stick around. So what does that mean in terms of snowfall totals? Well, this is what we've got. And this is largely from the system that's coming through tonight into tomorrow morning. So not a whole lot expected. Earlier, the system showed that we could see up to about 3 centimeters in and around the Regina area. And since then, again, the way this system's moving and the way it has been breaking up does not look like we'll be seeing much snow come through tonight into the overnight. Temperatures, though, will continue to drop, and as you can see right there, the average usually for daytime highs usually hovering around -4, anywhere up to about, or down to about -7, but we're going to be sitting in the double digits for many parts of the province below zero. -13 for North Battleford, -14 for Saskatoon, mainly sunny, -11 for Yorkton with a mix of sun and cloud, -13 for Maple Creek, -14 for Swift Current, and also just wanting to point out some of the lows tonight. Maple Creek, -20, that is without the wind chill, so getting into the close to about -25 with the wind chill value. And even in Assiniboia tonight, -17, warming to just -14 tomorrow, and -11 and cloudy for Weyburn and Estevan. For us tonight, -14, slight chance of some scattered flurries, and then into tomorrow, -12 with a mix of sun and cloud. And in terms of the next 7 days, this is what we've got coming up. So yeah, our lows heading into the weekend as well, -19. Again, wind chill value feeling closer to the mid-20s. Tomorrow, -12, a mix of sun and clouds. Sunday, mainly sunny, -14. Monday, mainly sunny, -12. And that evening is when we could start to see some snow arrive. By Tuesday, as of right now, looking like about 1 centimeter of snow. Could also see the winds picking up as well. We're expecting to see some stronger wind gusts, but with the snow, this could result in some blowing snow. Could see some blowing snow advisories out on Tuesday as well. -6, and then cooling back down to -15 on Wednesday, and then a little bit of a warm up to -5 on Thursday, and mostly cloudy for Friday at -7. So there is a little snow on the way, but not anything compared to what our friends in Saskatoon have been seeing.
Tuesday's interesting considering you've got the highest of the highs in -6, but then the lowest of the lows in -20. Quite the difference we'll see that day.
It's a huge change, yeah. And then again, we want to factor in the wind chill value, which is going to play an important role that day too.
Okay, thanks, Spain.
You bet.
Well, does size really matter when it comes to Christmas trees? Well, apparently it does in Ottawa. Several areas in the capital city are claiming that they have the tallest tree. CTV's Dylan Dyson has more on this little bit of a festive feud.
For Natalie Martel, a Christmas tree this big is picture-worthy.
Me and my son, who lives in France, get together at Christmas time and we visit Christmas markets, and we usually end up being in awe of some gigantic Christmas tree. So last Thursday at the illumination of this tree, I came by, and although it was nice, I was a little underwhelmed.
That tree was a stand-in until this one was ready. But this tree...
It's big. It's pretty big.
The Byward Market District Authority says its new Christmas tree is the tallest in the city.
This tree is 48 feet. I hear that the base in diameter is about 20 feet. And we know that we have a number of large trees in the city. The Rideau Center, that one's quite tall. I don't know the height of that. But I believe this one is taller than the one at Lansdowne.
I was at the Lansdowne lighting, and I think this one is, yeah, it's taller.
And they would be right. The tree in front of the Aberdeen Pavilion at the Ottawa Christmas Market comes in at 40 feet. And while it may have the most decorations, the tree inside the Rideau Center measures a mere 36 feet tall.
It's going to be fabulous. I love Christmas, and seeing a Christmas tree, especially that big, wow.
With the city's tallest tree going up and Christmas markets already in full swing before December, it seems seems Ottawa is officially in the holiday spirit.
From the outside looking in, as a spectator, it looks to me like it's been very well received. We don't have any data specifically, but everyone seems to be enjoying it, and there definitely has been some major crowds where I've been.
Already there's a star up top, so I'm excited.
Dylan Dyson, CTV News.
Coming up, a heartbreaking loss for Mike McEwen's rink ends the Saskatoon rink's dream of representing Canada at the Olympics.
Wardrobe consideration in part by Colin O'Brien Men's Shop.
More than a week after their Grey Cup victory, the Riders front office focus already on next season. Today, they announced the signing of another 2025 draft pick, and offensive lineman Eric Anderson, who was named U Sports Lineman of the Year recently. The team has 44 players set to become free agents February 10th. 3 of the starting 5 players in the secondary won't. They'll be under contract for 2026. That's Roland Milligan Jr., Marcus Sales, and Antoine Brooks. Middle linebacker Jameer Thurman will also be under contract. Offensively, Logan Furland is under contract for 2026, as is receiver Joe. But the contracts of all 4 quarterbacks are up in February, although we do expect to hear about Trevor Harris's status rather soon. It was a tough night for Saskatchewan's Mike McEwen rink on Thursday as they were eliminated from Olympic contention at the Canadian curling trials in Halifax.
Back 8. Final stone. Matt Dunstone already has a 2. Save it 1. Save it 2. Save it 3. Touch it. They got it.
Matt Dunstone's 3 in the 6th end. Too much to overcome as McEwen lost 9-5 in last night's men's semifinal. Dunstone will face Brad Jacobs' rink in the best-of-3 men's final. With Game 1 just underway. Dunstone used to skip a team from Saskatchewan, while Regina product Ben Hebert plays for Team Jacobs. So a Saskatchewan connection nonetheless.
Everest. Jill Brothers calling line. Can you come off and kick it sideways like that? Oh, not enough. Oh.
Meanwhile, this afternoon, Game 1 of the women's final, Christina Black could not provide a little black magic in the final end as she fell 5-4 to Rachel Homan. Game 2 goes tomorrow afternoon. A Homan win would send her team to the Olympics representing Canada. WHL, all 3 South Saskatchewan teams are on the road tonight, including the Moose Jaw Warriors, looking to win their 3rd straight game as they travel to Lethbridge.
Warriors get it back. McKenzie dug it out in front. Here's a shot. They score. McFadden is all alone, and he does not miss.
Last night, Landon McFadden had a pair of goals as the Warriors beat the Calgary Hitmen 5-2. Moose Jaw scored their 5 goals on just 19 shots, while goaltender Chase Woodsky made 44 saves for the win. Warriors are in 6th place in the conference, 5 points up on the Pats, who are in Portland tonight. Swift Current is in Everett. Still ahead, a cluster of avian flu cases hits southwestern Ontario.
All right, let's take a look at your rural forecast heading into tomorrow. Again, cooler than seasonal temperatures. We will see a little bit more sunshine starting the day off for much of the province, though, with a little bit more of that cloud cover before it starts to clear as we head into late morning, early afternoon. Warmest spot here right now, though, we're looking at is Hudson Bay at -9 with a mix of sun and cloud. So close to seasonal, but then we'll take a look at areas like Watrous, -14, mainly sunny, -13 for Lloydminster, -12 for Spiritwood and Kindersley with a mix of sun and cloud. A little bit more cloud cover for Melfort, also -12, and -11 for Meadow Lake, Outlook, and Wynyard. When we take a closer look at areas closer to the southern border, temperatures pretty much the same. -16 for East End Cypress, -13 for Maple Creek, and then in the southeast, they're -11 for Kenora, Broadview, and Carlisle, with Lumsden and Pilot Butte at -12. If we take a closer look at Blaine Lake, where internet speeds up to 1 gig are available through SaskTel tomorrow, nothing but sunshine for our friends in Blaine Lake. -14 with a wind chill of about -21. As we head into tomorrow night, though, the temperature dips to about -23 with a wind chill of -30.
The Canadian Food Inspection Agency says it has identified a 3rd avian flu outbreak in southwestern Ontario. Thousands of birds are impacted by a strain that officials have described as highly contagious. Jerry DeWan has the details.
H5N1, described as a highly pathogenic avian flu, has been identified on 3 commercial properties, concentrated southwest of Strathroy, with the security zone highlighted in deep red. The first infection was identified on the 14th, with subsequent infections on the 22nd and on Wednesday. Canadian Food Inspection Agency officials have established a primary control zone around the region to prevent the spread of the virus. In that restricted area, a permit is needed to move birds, their products, and any byproducts. Infected birds will be culled, and the properties will be monitored for any further infections. A cull of ostriches in British Columbia sparked heated debate over whether the birds needed to be killed or if controlled monitoring could have been used. CFIA officials say birds can have the disease without immediately showing signs, and the cull was needed to prevent further spread through contact with migratory birds. The CFIA says the common source of spread in our region is through those migratory birds, which is why we see outbreaks in the spring and fall. Human infection with avian influenza viruses is rare and usually occurs after close contact with infected birds or highly contaminated environments. The CFIA isn't disclosing the exact location of the local infections. In Strathroy-Caradoc, Jerry DeWan, CTV News.
The removal of a beaver dam from a Kitchener Creek has prompted a response from animal lovers across the country. As Alexander Hullick tells us, city staff took down the dam late last week, citing concerns about a flood risk.
That's a beaver! An ecosystem engineer in action, making its way through its makeshift dam built on a Kitchener Creek.
The beavers are amazing animals and they're really important. They're a keystone species. They're preparing for winter, and so beavers are building up their dam.
But according to the city, this beaver-built barrier is bringing new issues to light. Recently, a large dam in Shoemaker Creek was discovered during a routine inspection, a city spokesperson said in an email to CTV News. As this poses a flood risk, we worked with licensed wildlife experts to restore the creek. This is what's left. The city says the beavers haven't been killed, captured, harmed, or relocated. But one animal protection expert says the damage has already been done.
Removing dams actually just make the problem worse, and beavers are going to go now and take more trees to replace the dam that was moved.
Leslie Fox is the executive director of the Fur Bearers, a BC-based group that advocates for animals killed for their pelts. She says the beavers will keep coming back, threatening the risk of lethal retaliation.
Oftentimes we see the end result is beavers getting trapped and killed, and so we're really urging the city to be proactive.
Fox says the problem isn't the beavers, but the control of water levels. So she's pushing the city to install a pipe system, otherwise known as a flow device,
which is essentially a PVC pipe that's integrated with the dam and allows water to move from one side of the dam to another.
Fox says she's reached out to the city of Kitchener, but felt like she was talking to a stick wall.
The city seems to want to prioritizing dam removal as a form of management. It's wasting valuable taxpayer money and the city's time, honestly.
The city says it's monitoring the situation and prioritizes coexistence when and where possible.
The reality is if there's habitat and a food source, there will always be beavers in Shoemaker Creek.
It's not clear what will happen if the beavers rebuild their dam here on Shoemaker Creek, but Leslie Fox with the Fur Bearers and a local resident we spoke with say they'll be keeping an eye on any developments. Alexandra Hullick, CTV News, Kitchener.
That's some fluffy flakes there. Stock markets, TSX up 186, Dow Jones up 289 points. As for the Canadian dollar, it went up 0.3 cents to 71.57 cents US. Commodities, gold went up $81.83, big jump there. West Texas Intermediate crude went down 10 cents, while Western Canadian Select crude didn't feel like moving, stayed the same. As for gas in Regina, it also stayed the same, sitting at $1.29.9 cents per liter.
All that glitters isn't gold. Silver reached a new high today, lifting mining stocks. Spot silver reached $56.50 US announced today. It started the year under $30. It floated Endeavour silver shares almost 13% higher. Aya Gold and Silver up 12%, and First Majestic Silver up 11%. Lower silver inventories have sent prices soaring recently. Trans Mountain Pipeline is reporting a profit of $127 million for its latest quarter. That's compared to a loss of $68 million in the same period last year. The pipeline operator sent about 777,000 barrels of oil through every day. It moves Alberta product to the western coast of Canada. The Supreme Court of Canada has given the go-ahead to an investor to sue Lundin Mining. Now, at the heart of the case is a delayed disclosure about a rock slide at Lundin's mine in Chile. Investors found out about it about a month after it happened, and the news sent shares tumbling. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Coming up tonight, we've got CTV movie Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. You're wondering, which Star Wars is that? It's the original one.
Oh, see, I thought I knew, but I'm glad you said that, because that's not what I thought it was.
That's on next. Last night, we showed you the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in New York. In Detroit, they also celebrated the day with a parade.
Massive paper mache.
That's not Detroit.
Does not
that
look
is Paris. So we'll just skip that. They have massive paper mache heads, and they just go dum-da-dum-da-dum. Aretha Franklin, Harry Ford, yeah.
Did Aretha Franklin do the dum-da-dum-da-dum?
No, that's what the heads, yeah. We should do that for the Santa Claus parade next year. Paper mache heads.
Okay, we'll have to start working on it now.
All right.
Okay, let's try this. U.S. Thanksgiving may be over, but the long weekend for many Americans is expected to boost the debut of a new animated movie sequel.
We took an oath to make the world a better place, and an innocent snake needs our help.
Here we go. Zootopia 2 is expected to bring it up to $150 million U.S. over the 5-day holiday period. That Hollywood really trends to focus around American Thanksgiving for stuff like that. This will be enough to claim the crown from Wicked for good in its second weekend, although the musical sequel is expected to bring in another $90 million across North America over that same span. Oh, Wicked's going to get knocked off the perch, Sabine.
I mean,
what do you think?
I mean, eventually it would. I just didn't think this soon. I've never seen Zootopia, so I don't know if it's...
And we're never going to see paper mache heads, apparently.
Next Santa Parade, next year. Tune in.